Some secrets are so dark they follow you home. This isn't a ghost story. This isn't fiction. What you're about to hear happened behind walls you've seen on TV, in a mansion where screams echo in soundproof rooms. I was just a butler. Now I'm a ghost. You know that feeling when your gut screams run, but your brain says stay? That's how this whole nightmare began. I wasn't some Hollywood wannabe chasing fame. I was just a broke bartender in Manhattan, mixing drinks for tourists who treated me like furniture. 5 years of invisible existence until he walked in, mid-40s, expensive coat, dead eyes that studied me like I was a lab rat. He slid a business card across the bar. No name, just a phone number and 4 words that should have been my first red flag. Discretion earns longevity. 3 weeks later, I was flying first class to LA, about to become the personal butler to someone whose name makes grown men disappear. The mansion had no address, just a serpentine driveway hidden behind hedges tall enough to hide a body. Inside, everything was museum quiet, like a tomb decorated by Interior Design magazine. That's when I saw him. Sean Combs, Diddy, brother love, pick your poison. He didn't shake my hand, just looked me up and down like he was appraising meat and said, yeah, he'll do. $8,000 a month, plus housing, plus a black Amex card for emergencies. The only catch? 3 simple rules. No phones upstairs, no locked doors except his, no talking unless spoken to. I should have asked what happened to the last butler. Living there was like being trapped inside someone else's fever dream. No clocks, no windows in certain hallways, music playing in empty rooms like ghost concerts. And he moved through it all like a shadow with a pulse. Some days, Diddy would glide past you without a word. Other days, he'd stop, lock eyes, and smile like he was remembering your funeral. But it was the little things that made my skin crawl. The hallway on the 2nd floor, nothing but mirrors on both sides. One night, I caught him standing there at 1 a.m., staring at his reflection like he was having a conversation with someone else. You ever watch yourself long enough that you start seeing someone else? He asked, without turning around. I pretended I didn't hear him. I should have run. Then there was the guest room incident. I walked in to prep the space and found him sitting on the bed in a room that had been empty 10 minutes earlier. Just making sure it still feels like a bedroom, he said, standing up slowly. As he passed me, he whispered, weird how some spaces pretend to be normal. On the bed, folded into a perfect square, was a single black glove. Sometimes the house would hum, not from speakers or appliances. This was different, a frequency that crawled under your skin and nested in your bones. One night, I found him in the kitchen, staring at the microwave like it was a crystal ball. It's not the house that makes that sound, he said without looking at me. It's the part underneath. That's when I knew I wasn't working for a man anymore. The day everything changed started like any other. I was organizing linens on the 3rd floor when I decided to take a break on the back patio. That's when I saw it. A video on my phone. Diddy and Justin Bieber on some talk show. Justin was maybe 15, still had that baby face, that innocent smile. But Diddy, the way he looked at that kid, wasn't mentorship, it was ownership. We spend days at the crib, Diddy was saying. Just vibing, watching movies. He's like family. The comments were all jokes. Diddy grooming the next generation. Father-son energy. Nobody was laughing in my chest. Something primordial was screaming danger, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd stumbled onto something that would get me killed. 3 days later, everything changed. Security started swarming. Rooms that were normally silent buzzed with walkie-talkie chatter. Diddy stopped leaving the property. Then a guard walked up to me and said 4 words that froze my blood. Diddy's bringing Bieber over. I didn't leave. God help me. I didn't leave. I told security I was heading out, then slipped into the service corridors. There was a crawl space behind the walls that connected to rooms I'd never seen on any blueprint. I wedged myself inside with my phone, heart hammering like a war drum. Then I heard voices. All you got to do today is show me what you got, came Diddy's voice, smooth as poison. A beat of silence. Then Justin's voice, quieter than I remembered. Like, sing? Diddy laughed. Nah, I meant I got to see you perform. That word, perform, felt like a knife sliding between my ribs. From my hiding spot, I could see into a room that shouldn't exist. Dark stone floors, a single velvet chair under amber stage lights, and in the corner, barely visible, a red recording light. He was filming it. Diddy walked in first, hands behind his back like a judge. Justin followed, eyes darting around like a trapped animal. "I want to see you perform," Diddy said. "Not sing, perform. Be your authentic self. Don't hold back." Justin just stood there, frozen. What happened next? I can't describe it. I won't. All I know is, it wasn't music. It wasn't art. It was survival. Justin's body did what it had to do. His face tried to stay neutral, but his eyes were screaming, and Diddy just watched, leaning forward like a critic at the world's most twisted talent show. When it was over, Diddy's voice cut through the silence. "You're always going to remember this moment. You're always going to remember me." Justin laughed. But it wasn't real. It was the sound people make when their brain starts splitting from their body. A laugh to cover a scream. I knew I'd just watched something die. I tried to escape through the crawl space, but when I reached the main foyer, he was waiting. Diddy stood in front of the door like he'd been expecting me, still smiling that slow, predatory smile. "Did you like the performance?" he asked. But it wasn't him that made me freeze. It was the thing standing next to him. At first, I thought it was just another bodyguard. But as my eyes adjusted, I realized something was wrong with its shape. Too tall, shoulders hunched like it didn't know how to wear skin. It was pitch black, not just dark, it was absorbing light. No face, just smooth shadow where a head should be. But somehow, I knew it was looking at me. "You ain't gotta run," Diddy said. "You work here. You're a part of the house." The thing behind him didn't speak, but I swear, I felt it breathing. Not air, something else. Like heat off an open furnace. Like hunger. That's when I broke. I ran. Didn't think. Didn't plan. Just ran. I don't remember opening the front door. I don't remember the stairs. All I remember is gravel under my feet and my heartbeat pounding like thunder. Behind the garage, I found a security SUV still idling. Keys in the ignition. Someone had left it running. I didn't hesitate. I jumped in and peeled out so fast the tires screamed. But even as the mansion faded in my mirror, that smile stayed in my head. And that thing, whatever it was, had looked right through me like it already knew where I was going next. I drove straight to LAX, bought a one-way ticket to Chicago with cash. No bags, no carry-on, just a boarding pass that felt like a lifeline. I thought I'd escaped. I was wrong. Distance doesn't matter when you've seen what lives behind the curtain. I've changed names, burned IDs. I moved cities like other people change passwords. But that house, it follows you. Watch Justin Bieber now. Really watch him. The smile doesn't reach his eyes anymore. There's a delay, like his soul is lagging behind his body. When he stands under those stage lights, surrounded by smoke and cameras, I can tell he's back there, in that stone room, still performing for an audience of one. He never really left. Whatever happened that night rewired something in him. People say it's exhaustion, anxiety, fame, drugs. They come up with every reason except the one that might actually explain it. He's still in that room. I've replayed that moment 1,000 times. The way Diddy said, "Be your authentic self." The way the camera was already rolling. The way Justin laughed. Not because it was funny, but because he was breaking and didn't know what else to do. And I wonder how many others are still performing for him. I know I shouldn't be telling you this. I've spent years hiding. And still, sometimes I wake up sweating because I felt something standing at the end of my bed. That hum from the house, the one that made your skin buzz, it never left me. Sometimes, late at night, I hear it in the walls of whatever cheap motel I'm hiding in. Some doors, once opened, never close all the way. I don't want fame. I don't want clicks. I just want to stay hidden. So if this story disturbed you the way it disturbed me, help me stay underground. Because if I disappear, at least now someone else knows why. And if you ever hear that hum, if you ever find yourself in a room with no clocks, no windows, and a velvet chair in the center, leave before the performance begins. Because some shows never end, and some audiences never leave. The house is still humming, and it's still hungry. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more stories they don't want you to know. And remember, some secrets are worth more than your life.